All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Blitz5 and hope you guys are doing well. And in front of me, we have the patch notes for update 14.2, which just launched today on the PC test server on October 27, 2021. I'm going to go over when this is going live on PC and console. And I was able to play the test server this morning with PUBG Andy. So I have a bunch of footage. So make sure you guys stick around, check out some of the new features. We got 2 new items, kind of weapons coming into the game. So make sure you guys check that out before you leave. Normally these are longer videos, but these patch notes are actually shorter. The estimated read on this is only 12 minutes and we're going to be skipping through some stuff. Normally this is like a 20-minute video, but it shouldn't be that long. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Well, actually, let me tell you guys first that this is live on the test server, PC only. There's no test server on console anymore until further notice. Then this will be going on to the PC live server next week on November 3rd, as I check the calendar here. Yep, November 3rd on a Wednesday. And then these updates happen on a Thursday for console. So this won't be live on Xbox and PlayStation until November 11th. It stinks that we have to wait, but that's just how it is. So getting into the update here, you can see there's a chicken, and there are chickens coming into the game as the second animal on Taego, but we'll wait to get into that. Because first we have the new weapon, and that is the Mortar. And this is kind of a cannon that you can shoot from the ground. And this is really interesting. Before we get into the details, I would liken this to basically a Panzerfaust that's on Karkin or Sanhok. It takes up a primary slot, and it is pretty difficult to use. And I don't know like how much people are going to use this after kind of the initial excitement of it dropping, or people that stream and are going to go for a fun clip. But this is definitely going to be pretty hard to use unless they change some of the stuff. So let's go through the information. Once looted, it takes up a primary slot, as I mentioned. It can only be deployed on flat surfaces, and it can't be deployed on cement, iron, concrete, water, wooden floors, or inside of a building, which makes sense. Can't be deployed inside of a building. And also it needs to kind of be like pushed into the ground. So that's why it can't be put out on cement or anything like that. After you do that, it takes about 3 seconds for deployment. So you have to kind of set it in the ground. It does a little action, almost like you're healing, but you're crafting the weapon on the ground. And then you can, I think you're still standing, then you can enter onto the mortar, you crouch, and then you can spin it around and choose your distance. You can actually shoot anywhere from 121 meters all the way to 700 meters. And there is a 1 second delay in between shots. And when we found this in game, there was only one mortar shell. So again, you have one opportunity to kind of see where you're shooting, and at distances so far away, you can't even really see where it went. So it's hard to make adjustments, right? So the best way to do this is to go into the map, kind of mark where you want to shoot. Then you can aim where your marker is, and then you kind of have to guess either using the map or just using your in-game skill, or just go for it. You have to kind of guesstimate the distance, right? So you can count the squares. The small squares in game are 100 meters. So you can kind of use that. We found out that, so if you take a square from top to bottom, it's 100 meters. And if you go diagonal, it's like 141 meters. So for example, if it's like 2 distances diagonally and 2 boxes diagonally, that could be almost 300 meters. If there are 2 boxes in front of you, that's 200. If there are 4 boxes in front of you, that would be 400 meters. But again, the blast radius is not that big. I mean, it's big, but I thought it would be bigger. I would say it's less than a C4, and it does not go through buildings. So if somebody's in a compound and you're sending a couple shells over, as soon as they hear it, people are probably going to go inside. It seems like it's over 10 seconds till it reaches its target. Could be roughly around 10 seconds. So as soon as people hear that a mortar strike just hit, and then the next one's not going to come for 3-4 seconds, people are most likely going to be inside, and then you're not going to be able to kill them. But I do see this having potential if there are people holding a compound, or maybe a compound that doesn't have a lot of roofs on it, where you can kind of push the front of the compound or get people inside and then throw smokes and kind of push the compound in a better way, right? Like get them to get inside so that you could hit the wall instead of them just hiding on the wall and holding you out. So I could see some instances where this is going to be really fun. Or for me, I think it'd be really awesome if you preset it up on a vehicle and you wait for an enemy to get in said vehicle, or is about to approach that vehicle, and you kind of pre-fire shot and blow it up. I think that would be pretty fun. But that is like the major part of the update, I would say. And I did not see this coming. PUBG kind of leaked this recently. But before that, I would have not imagined that this was coming to the game. And there was nothing really leading up to that, showing that that was coming. And then the other new weapon, which is a non-lethal weapon, is the M79 Grenade Launcher. Let's read what PUBG has to say. I think this is one of the coolest updates coming into PUBG for a while, or coolest items. It's really interesting. So the new M79 Grenade Launcher was created to provide quick smoke cover on longer ranges, blind your enemies, cover your down teammate, or make a grand escape from a losing battle. So this weapon will take over the pistol slot and cannot be used in the driver's seat. So I actually missed this morning when I read this. We tested this. You can't shoot from the driver's seat like a regular pistol. If you switch seats, you can shoot it out of the car. And then this holds a new grenade type, the 40mm smoke grenade. And the max you can have, stack size, is 5. The weight in your bag is 14, which is actually less than a regular smoke grenade. And it spawns and stacks from 1 to 3 by itself. And then world spawns and stacks of 2 to 3 along with the M79. And here, what it actually has an interesting kind of function, the way that it works. So you can shoot this up to 400 meters, which is insane. It goes really far. I mean, I didn't know that when I was in the game. And I shot it way over a mountain and we couldn't even see where it went. So this thing, you can launch really, really far, which would be nice if you're trying to help a teammate that ran off into the wilderness or got separated from you, or maybe you're in a 2-2 split and you're trying to help out your team or whatnot. But how this works is that if you shoot past 10 meters and it hits an object, or even if it hits the ground 20 meters away, or let's say 100 meters away, there's an initial smoke explosion, which I'll show you guys. It's very large and it fills the air very quickly. So you get this really fast cover, and then that dissipates, and a second smoke grenade pops out, and then that has a 3-second delay and works like a regular smoke grenade. So basically, imagine you're shooting a grenade that kind of launches another grenade from it. So if you shoot it less than 10 meters, then the initial smoke explosion won't happen. So if you shoot it right at the ground, it's basically like just using a regular smoke grenade. If you shoot it far out, you're going to get this initial cover that goes away, and then a smoke grenade appears. So I'll show you guys on the screen. It will make more sense if I'm not making sense on how that works. So the only thing I'm not worried about, but thinking about the balance of this game, is that now if you're holding 4 or 5 smokes and then have this on your side with another 1, 2, 3, 4 smokes on it, this could be very useful in ranked or for competitive matches or people that are very good with teamwork and squads. I don't want to say OP because it's just a smoke grenade, but we'll see how many people are launching smokes. And honestly, in a competitive setting, how often people use pistols? Pretty rare. So I feel like this is going to be a no-brainer for teams if you can find one to get one. It's going to be a very hot item that I feel like if you see one, you almost have to take it, especially if you're in squads. So that's very cool. Definitely want to hear what you guys think about this, but I feel like both these updates are great. To me, these are things kind of like the emergency parachute, like the spike trap and the glider, that just bring new content in the game that aren't really broken, in my opinion. They're kind of hard to use after the initial thing. I don't know if people are going to be grabbing the mortar or like the Panzerfaust. You don't see that many people using the Panzerfaust anymore, but it's like fun if you pick it up. So I feel like these are great additions. I know people want the game to be fixed, but I feel like these are great additions to keep things interesting, provide more content, especially for me as a streamer. I'm definitely going to be going for some really fun mortar strike kills now. And then here's another quality of life update that PUBG is doing here. And this is down but not out swimming. So basically, you can now get knocked in the water and survive and still swim. So we tested this out as well. Before, I'm sure you know about this. If you're watching this video, I assume you play PUBG. If you get knocked in the water, you insta-die. There is no getting knocked. If you're driving a boat, you get headshot, you follow the boat, you are dead. And this is great when you're the sniper, sniping someone out of the boat. But when you're a passenger on a boat, it really sucks, especially because the boats are pretty weak in general. And the water in PUBG, like the water game, is not that great. Like you're at a pretty big disadvantage when you're in a boat. There's like just no cover from getting shot or sniped. So I feel like this is a really fair or nice addition to the game. And you can actually get revived when in the water, and you can actually swim with one arm in the water. So you still lose health. If you go underwater, you can still drown. And basically, if you get knocked in the water, you're pretty much screwed. But you can now get revived, which will give people a chance. If something happens or you get knocked super far out, you might have a chance to survive. So I think this is cool, and we'll add an additional layer to fighting in the water, going for crates in the water and stuff like that. And that is pretty rare when you fight in the water. So overall, I think that's a nice addition. And then we have the chicken, the namesake of PUBG, not really, but kind of, coming into the game. And they said, why the heck, you might wonder? The answer to this question is left to your imagination. So Player IGN had leaked that it seemed like their PUBG was maybe considering adding animals to PUBG. And they added the birds on Taego, whether you notice them or not. If you're going through some fields or through cities, sometimes the birds will fly away, which kind of give up your position. I don't know if I've ever used that to know that somebody was like pushing me or sneaking on me, to be honest, but it just kind of adds a nice in-game element. And now they're going to be chickens. And this is actually something I forgot to check for. I didn't look for the chickens when we were playing on Taego. But basically, they're roaming around the map. If you come across them, you can frighten them and they will run away. So things that will happen, punching, footsteps, gunshots, cars, all that stuff. And then obviously you can also shoot them and take out the chickens. So I don't know what happens when you shoot them. I'm guessing they just die, but be interesting to see if this is just for fun or if PUBG is really going to be adding more animals as time goes on. Again, would be interested to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. And then here we have some additions to the team deathmatch, preset and custom match. Arcade mode, they're just changing some of the spawn points, updating, doing some kind of quality of life improvements for arcade mode for the spawns and stuff like that. And then a change that I think a lot of people are going to be happy with that play ranked is they added Taego to ranked, but they kept in the comeback BR, the airspace, and all that stuff. And to me, it just felt really gimmicky seeing the airspace in ranked. It just didn't really flow with it that well. I didn't really mind the emergency pickup, but they're taking all that stuff out. So emergency pickup, comeback BR, secret room, airspace, all being removed from ranked. And then same with the self AED and the blue zone nade. So I like that they're taking that stuff out. To me, it was a little gimmicky for that setup. And then for Pramo, similar thing. They're taking out the Panzerfaust, taking out the secret room key, and the 8x scope, because I think the 8x scope was only in the secret rooms, if I'm not mistaken. Then the PGC 2021 is happening, so that will be coming back into the main menu screen. So this is going to be a really exciting tournament that's happening, the Global Championship. If you're not into PUBG esports, this is usually the time to get involved. It's just really awesome the way they do it. New lobby screen, which has a video playing in the background, but I don't know if that will be on console because it might kind of bog down the system a little bit. Link account, which I don't know if that's going to come to console as well. And then this is quality of life improvement. So there are some dynamic zones in PUBG, meaning that if too many people have been eliminated early, the zones will act differently. And I feel like this should be on every map, but right now it says, at least it seems like this is only on Sanhok and Karkin. So before, this was something that was just kind of happening in the background. I kind of forgot about it. And now this message will be displayed, letting people know that the zone delay will be reduced because of the decreased survivor amount. And because of potential less players in certain regions. And to me, just for those matches where people hot drop and everybody dies off the bat, it can be so slow. I would like to see this on more maps and definitely on Pramo, because the mid game is so slow on that map that if there's less people or something happens, like just a crazy amount of people hot drop in one match, that the blue zone shrinks a little bit faster. And then the rest of this stuff is just quality of life updates, letting you know that the Survivor Pass is actually ending with this update. And that there's going to be, well, I guess this is actually a pretty big thing. All the other stuff is just quality of life improvements and store stuff that's going to be coming into the game. But this is actually a big one that we have to stop on. And this says, another important note, a new Survivor Pass won't be released until March 2022. But to make up for the long wait, we'll be bringing updates in the following months on some big and fun in-game events coming your way. So a little vague there. PUBG has been doing more events in the main menu screen that are free. You can just join in on the events and earn contraband coupons and other in-game items, the Halloween event and all that stuff. And I personally like those. Some of them are done better than others. But I will say that the Survivor Passes have not been that great lately, especially in North America on console. People do not seem to like the Survivor Passes, and a lot of that started with Pajama Party. So I don't know if this is being delayed because they're reworking it. Is it being delayed? There's some speculation that there is another map coming out, codenamed Kiki, that was scheduled to come at the end of this year or early 2022. So are they waiting for that new map to come out? However, the Survivor Passes don't line up with new maps anymore, so I don't know if that's true. Are we going to see, some people have been wondering, is PUBG going free to play? Are they reevaluating the Survivor Passes? Who really knows? But something's going on, because I don't know why they wouldn't have it in there, because when the Survivor Passes are good, I feel like it keeps people playing, gives people initiative to play. And the Survivor Passes used to be way better back in the old days of PUBG, and now they're kind of plain and kind of not inspired. So in any case, hopefully this is a good thing and not a bad thing, but we're going to have to wait until March 2022. And coincidentally, March is when this game launched on PC. That will be the 5-year anniversary of PUBG. So I wonder, we might hear some big news around the 5-year anniversary. That would be the time to announce it. Then we got some new skins coming into the game. These are the PGC skins, God V skin, and then I guess these are like kind of action figure skins coming into the game. And then also, I don't know if this is mentioned in the patch notes, but PUBG is doing a collaboration with this company called Fresh Hoods, and you can actually buy the hoodies and outfits in real life from their store. I'll leave the link in the description box below. And they're going to be available in game as well, so you can buy it for your character and for yourself if you want to, or one or the other. But I don't see them mentioned here, but you'll see them when this update goes live. So, all right, I appreciate you guys watching. If you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so or dropping a like on this video. And if you want to catch some of the action live when I'm playing on Twitch, you can find me at twitch.tv/Blitz5. And friends, thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5, and peace out.